Hello and welcome to the UK Game Show's Bothers Bar poll of 2023. Once again, you've been saying, wow, that 2023, it was so great, wasn't it? Wouldn't it be great if we could just extend it a little bit more? Well, we've done so by eking it into the 2024 and allowing us to ponder what the best and worst and most golden game shows of the previous 12 months was. Let me introduce you to the people we have with us today. First of all, we have Nick Gates himself from Bothers Bar.
Hi.
Who has been doing all of the actual hard work. And you said you surprised me because you've reminded me how long we've been doing this.
Yeah, this is the 19th one. So we've not done 19 of these result shows, but this is the 19th year we've been doing this this poll. So I mean, it'd be a shame not to do 20, wouldn't it?
Well, it depends if we get recommissioned. To be honest with you. Anyway, well, let's go across to Daniel Peake. Hello, Dan.
Good evening. How are you?
All right, and he's for anybody who doesn't know, is a streamer of puzzles and does various things on that front. But he also involved with the production of Only Connect.
Yep.
And so, what are you looking forward to talking about this year?
Well, I have opinions. 2023 for me was a very interesting year of game shows. When I started looking through the list of new shows from the UK Game Shows website, I realised something, and I shall reveal what later on. What a tease!
Okay, and we have with us. I think it's easily possible to say game show royalty, in that we have one of the very few people who can claim to actually be good at Only Connect. Claire, one of the Series 17 champions. Was it the Data Wizards? Was your team? Is that right, Claire?
That's correct. Yeah, it was definitely a team effort. I cannot claim to be the only champion. Yeah.
well, it's definitely a very important thing. I think some of the best teams are the ones that go, oh, could be that, and then somebody else says, oh, it is that, and then you press the button at the right time, and you've even got your name in the background, which we teased you about because we made you do it, but it's a very important piece of game show history. So.
Yeah.
Show it off and be proud of it. So very, very pleased that you're able to join us. And so we shall crack on because we've got lots to fit in. So we are going to go to our Hall of Shame category first, as is traditional, which is unfortunately what we would call the constructive criticism element of the show, where we get to discuss what we think was the worst new game show of the 2023. These are the results from the previous year, just to remind everybody, and we are 4 for 5 in that. I think all the top 4 were cancelled. Ridiculous came back for a second series, may come back for a third if it hasn't already done so. Also, just saying, by coincidence, that's the only show of those 5 that had some of my questions in it. Just saying.
And here's the real point of the poll of the year 2023 reveal show.
So, yeah, if you do get a new game show, call me. So we're going to blast through the 6 to 10 placings relatively quickly. Mm-hmm. So, Nick, would you like to gallop through those for us?
Okay, so joint 9th is Scared of the Dark and Tempting Fortune. 8th, The Finish Line. 7th, Mamma Mia, I Have a Dream. 6th, Puzzling.
Okay.
All right. There's some unusual choices there. Anyway, we can go straight on to number 5, I think. So what is number 5?
Number 5, Survivor.
Oh, wow.
Here we go. I mean, at least it's not number 1. I was worried that this was going to be number 1 on the Hall of Shame because of its prominence. It's a very expensive show that hasn't done particularly well, and I was worried that it would be number one on the list. And it isn't the worst thing we've seen all year. In fact, I actually quite liked Survivor. I just thought it was incredibly boring. I thought the edit let it down. I'm hoping it'll appear in the Hall of Fame as well, but I'm not quite sure if it will. But that's my take. I've got a lot that I could talk about for Survivor. Does anyone else have any opinions before I don't stop talking?
I think it's interesting because I thought the edit for it was quite interesting because I've seen some Survivor in the past, and I thought I quite enjoyed it. It's quite lighter take on it's a lighter edit, I suppose. But the first half definitely much less interesting than the second half of the series.
Agreed.
But unfortunately, you need the first half to be decent to get people in, because they're not going to join in halfway through, are they? Really?
Episode 1. Go on.
I just thought that I'm not a massive watcher of these shows, so modulo that. But for me, as somebody who watches the challenges more than the reality content of these things, I thought the challenges were not what I thought Survivor was about. I thought Survivor challenges had a bit more to them. And I think I might have been mixing them up with perhaps Amazing Race or something like that. But then somebody told me that in Survivor US, there tends to be like a physical bit and a mental bit to a lot of those challenges. So.
Yes. So this is one of one of my big comments. It was too biased challenge-wise towards the physical. And so that doesn't help the gameplay, because in your tribe you want a good mix of physical and mental people. And if all the challenges are physical, then you just vote off your weakest people. So it suffered from that. It also suffered for a challenge one. You want episode 1 to have this big, amazing obstacle course, lots of things to do, action. No, they were standing holding a rope. An endurance challenge in the first episode. I think that was a big mistake. And I think Nick's right in that the second half was actually pretty decent, but what I think the edit managed to do was to somehow reduce the excitement of the challenges and of the gameplay side, the alliances side, and also managed to play down any part of the Survivor thing. The only thing that I got Survivor-wise, in actual terms of like camping and Survivor, was that they were sleeping on quite a hard bed. And there must have been far more to it than that. I know I've watched many seasons of Survivor, at least 60, and I felt that somehow they managed to miss out both halves, and I don't quite know how they did that. It was quite clever.
All right. Well, for comments, let's move on to number 4.
Okay, it's actually I joined the third. And this is quite sweet.
Hang on, whoa. This is complicated. All right, give me the first of those.
This is quite sweet. Picture Slam.
Oh no! Don't tell me. Don't tell it with a shout.
Yeah, you're right.
They are twins. They are twins.
They're the same picture. It's the same picture.
Poetic.
I thought that was absolutely incredible. But there's the result. That's what's come up. So yeah.
Picture quizzes are in vogue at the moment as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we getting our version of the floor? I don't
know. No, youngest were working on it, localizing it before they shut up shop. So I've got no idea what's happened to it over here, to be honest.
Probably in Rights Hell now as a result.
Well, if anything, that's probably freed it up for somebody else to pick it up a bit easier. But we'll see.
I mean, the floor's actually it's done pretty good business sort of internationally, so it seems strange not to have a version here, but we've now already got 2 shows that are basically the same thing now, so I don't know where it fits if it does come here.
I'm having a bit of a mental blank here. I can remember In With a Shout. For me, that stood out more visually to me, with the screens in a circle.
It's all very nightclubby, a bit
in
young person, a bit.
Yeah.
Who was Picture Slam again?
He's calling
Alan Carr.
That was Alan Carr.
Oh.
Well, I like that. Well.
Yeah.
It's about the tellies on In With a Shout. It was all tellies. It's not screens. Tellies.
Yes, it's very important.
I think I was a bit disappointed about with Picture Slam was, although I think I preferred the production more, it was a bit glossier or a bit more refined. It there was not really anything linking the 4 pictures. It was just sort of like a streak bonus sort of mechanism, rather than anything clever going on with like, why have we chosen to put a stapler next to Miley Cyrus? It's like, other than lighting up the letters and things like that, it didn't really have a lot going for it.
It
I
did
thought
well,
Picture
though.
Sound was too slow. Sorry, go on, Nick.
As I say, it did well. It was a pretty good partner of Strictly. It was getting almost 4 million. So I mean, Iron Michelle's definitely coming back. I suspect Picture Sound will be coming back as well. So I suspect they won't be clashing against each other like they were planning to back in May before BBC moved one out of fear, presumably.
I thought
Did you think you thought Picture Sound was too slow?
Yeah.
We had Alan Carr was literally getting annoyed at people who were answering too fast. And he was also, when they were answering while he was talking, he was asking for them to repeat their question. It was very strange. Like it was like he had to be the person who said that was correct to move on. But I felt like that was a bit odd.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
It behooved you to be faster. Yeah.
I think that is the first time in 19 years that we've had the word behooved on the show. So already bringing the freshness that we needed from you. Great. Okay, number 2, please, Nick.
Number 2, a bit of a gap between third and second. It's Next Level Chef with Gordon Ramsay.
I didn't see this.
No, not me.
Nobody did. That's the problem. Yeah.
I saw the adverts though, and the premise seems all right. So what went wrong?
To me, I think there's been just a number of Ramsay formats that have been one and done, and I think people are starting to get a little bit sick of them.
Well, it seems to okay in America on Fox. I mean, Next Level Chef's done okay. I think it's got at least a second series, at least, hasn't it? But here, it's. I mean, if you don't know what it is, it's basically 3 kitchens on top of each other: a good one, a medium one, a rubbish one, and the lift goes between them, giving ingredients and stuff. And the people at the top get the best ingredients, and the people at the bottom have to make do whatever's going, and then they move up and down levels depending on how good their dishes are. Basically, that's the main idea.
To me, I think it's just about the artifice of it. It's a clever high-level concept that was taken from a film, allegedly. But ultimately, if you want a cooking format that involves Ramsay, you just want Hell's Kitchen, don't you?
Presumably.
Yep.
So why not just do that? Why construct this massive thing in Las Vegas that was literally the size of was it a 6-story skyscraper? Anyway, okay, let's go to number 1. Any guesses for what it might be?
The only one I can think of is Rise and Fall. So let's see.
It was, in actual fact, Rise and Fall.
Hey!
You win, Dan.
Sort of sad because it's not as if it's a bad idea in it, but it feels like every time the production had a decision to make, they made the weirdest decision possible, and it just ended up annoying everybody.
Yes,
it's a pity, really, but I mean, what can you do?
I think. So I watched. I'll freely admit, I watched all the episodes of this. I actually got through it all. Mainly because I wanted to see how it stuck the landing. I thought maybe it could rescue itself in the ending. It didn't, but never mind. Yeah, it didn't. Fixed is not the right term, but there came a point, 2/3 of the way through the series, where the rulers couldn't agree on something. And so all of a sudden, the power shifted to the other people. There was no indication of how the game was ever going to progress. Like, what were the rules? Everything like that. The concept, sort of good. There was not enough rising and falling going on. The challenges were meh. See, I told you I'd have opinions this year. Normally, I'm quite happy and everything like that. This show annoyed me because I wanted it to be good. Greg James, great host. I thought he hosted it really well. It was cast quite well. I feel like they sort of tried to apprentice it up a little bit, and I don't think it worked. Like, oh, I have the business skills, I have the management skills to manage the prize pot. There were so few interactions between the rulers and the I forget what you call the grafters, that it just, the format, I think, needed work, which is a shame because it looked really good. The challenges are a bit meh, but actually the production, it wasn't a bad looking show.
No, it looked good. But I remember the very first episode when you had after the first challenge, and when one of the rulers was going to lose, and we all thought, okay, they'll go down to the bottom, they're going to get a taste of their own medicine, and then they just cast out. You think, surely that's the most obvious thing to do, is to put them back down in the basement. That's what the adverts had been suggesting was going to happen. There'd be a power struggle throughout the series. And then because of a quite weird way it was filming 2 weeks ahead of its television, you could see the bit where producers panicked that it's not quite taken off. But it's taken 2 weeks for those new things to start filtering through. And it was just all a bit of a mess, which is a shame. Because it's not as if it's not a bad idea inherently, but it didn't really work, unfortunately.
The chat is agreeing with you a lot there, Nick, in on the YouTube chat. Yes, there's a few comments such as one contestant could unilaterally end another contestant's game after 18 episodes. That frankly sucked. Yes, there was no sort of foreshadowing that the contestants didn't quite know what they were in for, so they couldn't play accordingly. It's a nice idea, but it didn't go well.
Okay. Well, that is what you, the people, have decided is the worst new show of last year. Now, obviously, you've now had to sit still for about 20 minutes, so therefore you must be feeling bored. So therefore, you can go to a tinyurl.com/barpoll2023, which allows you to use your second screen to touch buttons and make yourself feel better again. So we do this every year, just some fun throwaway questions, and we will be looking at your results later in the show. I'll just leave it up a little bit longer just so you can get it. It's tinyurl.com/barpoll2023. Okay. And you can, if anybody is still on X or Twitter, then you can go to #BBPoll, but probably easier if you put it in the YouTube chat, to be honest with you. Okay, let's move on. So it's now our Hall of Fame section, where we get to talk about nice things that we liked. These are our results from the previous year, and we are, I think, 5 for 5. Mm-hmm. Certainly
first time that's ever happened.
First time in recent memory, certainly. I think one question, there's rumours that there has been a second series.
They've filmed a second series.
It's been on the shelf a while, but it's meant to be coming back. So we're claiming a full house on that one this year. Okay. So we can move on to the 6 to 10.
So 6 to 10. In joint 10th, I Kissed a Boy and Rise and Fall.
Mm-hmm.
At 9th, Picture Slam. At 8th, The Piano, which is this year's show that everyone voting for, commenting that no one else is going to vote for it. And then we have a joint 5th, a 3-way tie in 5th.
Oh, how good luck, David.
All right, panic. I've not had to deal with this before. Okay.
And they are Big Brother, In the Shout, and Survivor.
Okay. I'm going to start with Survivor, given that we've already talked about it. I'm happy that enough people liked it that it's in the top 5. There are rumours of a second series, and let's hope that, because it wasn't a broken show, it looked fantastic, given that they did spend a lot of money on it, and in terms of production and the actual filming, looked amazing. So I'm very happy it's in the top 7.
I can say it's Survivor got exactly the same amount of votes in the Hall of Fame as it got in the Hall of Shame. So make of that what you will.
the cynic in me is that Survivor was commissioned on the basis of having 2 series anyway, because it's probably too big a show to just commission a one and done on it. But you know,
just don't put 12 contestants in your second series. It doesn't work if you only send 12 out there. There's not enough people.
Get an extra
Anyway.
to host it, like Freddie Flintoff. I think you'd be sorted.
Big Brother. I didn't really watch this. I watched occasional episodes, and the bits that I saw, I really liked. It felt very early 2000s Big Brother, which is not a bad thing. It felt quite rebooted. It felt homely. And the challenges were quite good. Like, they were better than I was expecting, given some of the previous stuff that I've seen on late Channel 4, early Channel 5.
They were certainly funny. I didn't want to get into Big Brother. I didn't want this to work at all. I'm in my 40s. I don't have time to watch an hour a night for months at a time. So I was really annoyed that I enjoyed it, actually. I watched all of it pretty much in the end. This is just great. This is great fun. I'm not quite sure. It's certainly a much lighter show than it had been in the last sort of 10 years or so. But it worked really well. So, and the challenges were funny. That's what you want, really. You want funny tasks if you're going to do tasks at all. Good result in the end as well, I thought. Yeah, good revival.
My mum, who's in her late 70s, used to watch the Channel 5 Big Brother. So I don't think there is an archetypal Big Brother viewer, but it seems to have done what ITV wanted it to do in terms of shoveling numbers towards it. Whether it was worth the immense cost that it probably cost them, I
believe there's like a celebrity version coming up in the next few months, isn't there?
So that's the plan, apparently.
Interesting.
So yeah.
Okay. Well, that's 5 and 6 and 7. So please tell me there's no more ties. Number 4, please, Nick.
4 is puzzling.
Puzzling. So this was Channel 5's version of doing Only Connect, which is like fairly overtly that was the story behind it, and I think Channel 5 sort of wanted their own version, and then they saw how hard everything was and tried to make it as accessible as possible, therefore slightly ruining the point of it. But I think what the end product that they came out with was kind of good, and I wouldn't mind seeing a second iteration of it.
I thought it was a tale of two shows, really. The first half was quite boring, and they had the maths round, which was quite alienating.
Oh, the maths round.
And then the second half was a bit more fun. So I don't know. I mean,
are you saying that counting 27 snowflakes on a Christmas card is not prime time entertainment?
Oh, it's rubbish telly. It's so good. I actually liked loads of the other bits of it, but I had to fast forward every time that round, and it's what stops me wanting to apply. Actually, is that bit. I think that's a bad bit of it.
Claire, you've got to let other people win some other stuff. All right.
I couldn't work out if these maths puzzles had been AI made, or someone had actually went through them and decided counting 36 bricks in an igloo, another 36 bricks in an igloo, multiplying them together was going to make fun television. But it didn't, and it wasn't. So yeah, I mean, it didn't hold its audience throughout the run, it's fair to say. I've not seen anything saying it's coming back. It might come back, who knows? I mean, I can't be. I would be honest. I'm not going to miss it, especially. But a lot of people did like it, so fair enough.
I think Channel 5 have been, because of things like Eggheads, and they've tried to slightly build up more of a reputation for this kind of show. They've openly admitted that they've never been quite that good at this sort of show, and so I think buying in Eggheads was their way of warming people up to say, hey, we can do formatted quizzes and stuff too, and this is their way of doing an original one. So it'd be a little bit sad from that point of view if it didn't come back, in my opinion. All right, let's move on to number 3.
quite a large gap between the top three and everything else, but in third was Deal or No Deal.
Why the groan?
Oh, sorry, that wasn't a groan. Sorry, that was that's interesting. In my opinion, there is a place for Deal or No Deal on TV, and when some people said it was coming back, they were immediately dismissive of it, and I wasn't quite sure why. Because what if you want to watch something competitive, sort of quizzy on telly, but one that doesn't have questions? There's a reason why there are quiz shows and game shows. And so I was quite pleased it was coming back. I think an interesting idea to take it down to 100k for the prize. I feel like it does lose something, but I watched a couple of episodes, and yeah, it's Deal or No Deal. I don't think you can really mess it up too much. Oh, I'm sure there's ways, but I thought it was all right.
I think it could have been a lot worse. I do think that there are people who have posted money ladders on the Discords and stuff that have been better, because although even if you do reduce the top prize, I can understand why they had to. I get that, and I'm not a fan of it, because I do think when you have like a Concord moment and then everything like gets worse after that, I think that's very sad. And that, when a bit like what happened with 100k drop, it's like, yes, you can bring it back for daytime, but to sort of bring it back with a tenth of the prize is like, it's such a downgrade. Now, this wasn't quite that drop, but I do think that was it Matt Clemson who posted a version that had slightly more bigger reds, but it still kept the 100k, and I think it only bumped up the average win by a grand or two, maybe, but it definitely allowed for a little bit more play with the offers rather than everything being £3,000.
Oh, breaking news! Rise and Fall officially axed.
They were listening.
Thank you to Simon who posted that.
That's amazing.
Right,
Is there anything else you want to
apparently? So there you go. It's
was that our fault then?
Yeah.
Well, apparently Super TV posted like an hour ago, apparently. So there you go. It predated us, I think.
Right. Have the results leaked, Nick?
Not unless someone's hacked my supercomputer. The Pulse supercomputer. No.
We are going to have to improve security systems next year.
You're going to have to put a seal on the envelope, like a wax seal.
Yeah. And then you open it like in the fifth.
What's interesting is that the on Channel 4 the prize budget was about £16,500. This is according to Richard Osman on a recent podcast he did, and he reckoned that ITV's budget, this is me going off of him, I think was about 11 or 12,000. So what's interesting is that the top prize is massively down by 60%, but not the budget. So there's less. It's more homogenous in that.
What's quite interesting is that the actual average prize in the Channel 4 was about 16,000. The average prize of these 20 episodes just gone, it was only 20 episode sample, was 6,000. So if there's plenty of room to go. I mean, the banker played some unusual tactics, which is nothing. Oh, loads of money, almost a mean all of a sudden for the last couple of rounds. I thought it was unusual. If the prize budget's 11,000, not reaching it.
I don't think Richard's numbers were correct on that. I have to
on the second one. Okay.
No, I don't think they were. They might have budgeted that. They might have allowed for that to say worst case scenario. That's what we're going to budget for. But as Nick says, the gameplay has not reached anything like that average level. So, all right, let's move on to number 2, please.
Number 2 was The Finish Line.
Oh, this is frustrating.
How so?
I really wanted this to be the donkey race mechanic.
Yeah.
Because I love the donkey race thing at arcades and stuff, and I thought, this is really going to work well because it's sort of it. But that's what the final was, and and there's just what we ended up with was sort of a bit like yacht racing. You know, they have a yacht racing on the Olympics, and you sort of you have to sort of draw all these lines on the on the ocean, sort of like to work out who's ahead, and everything's going very, very, very slowly. And the problem with it is for me that there's nothing certain people can do when it's not your turn to answer. So there's just too many instances of I can buzz in and say cheese, and it's just nonsense. But because I have taken up some time, or I've just wasted some. But sorry, I'm not buzzing in. Sorry, but I could still waste time by coming up with nonsense answers and stuff like that. I am still progressing. If I'm close to the line, I just need to delay my answer as long as I dare, and then say something nonsense, and then hopefully I'll just crawl over the line. So to me, there was just too many rules that worked against the people behind. The beauty about donkey races at the fairground is that somebody's way behind, and then they have a few lucky rolls, and then they race through to the front. There's no way of doing that on this show.
Didn't mind the finish line. It was a very pretty show. I think pretty show of the new year of 2023. I didn't mind the actual game. I quite liked the quickfire versus the rest of it, which was also still quickfire, but in a different way. You know, you got your individual round and the group round. I thought that was all okay. For me, the hosting didn't quite work. Other people really liked Sarah Ronan, but didn't. It's just my taste, so it's just for me. It didn't work, but it was all right. But very pretty. I think the best looking show of 2023.
I just enjoyed quite a silly mechanic. It's I think it looked good because it was a little bit silly, and I like that. But it's the physicality of them starting and stopping, but also it's quite humbling to be on one of those things.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think it looks like a lot of fun. I just thought as a show it needed more dopamine hits and more anything else. It felt like it wasn't aggressively trying to be entertaining enough. I don't think. Hopefully, fingers crossed, Series 2, which is coming, they'll make it a bit more fun. Is that the word?
Faster,
maybe. Yeah.
Faster.
I mean, it almost needs like a slightly longer studio, so you can go a little bit faster, a bit more kinetic. I think is the word I'm trying to get across here.
Because you're talking, Claire, as if you were on this. So this was one of the shows you were on.
No, I haven't. No, I've not been on this one, but I've watched because I've had friends who've been on it. But I can see that Jonathan Cairns is angling to get on the next one to maybe try and break stuff. So I mean, he's definitely got physical comedy in him. So yeah, absolutely get Jonathan Cairns on.
Oh, he can fall off on a flat floor, can our Jonathan?
You all remember Krypton Factor?
Right.
Oh, poor Jonathan. Anyway.
Okay, let's go to the number one slot. Any predictions for what it could be?
The finish line was my number one, so no.
Okay,
right.
Well, it was Popmaster TV.
Yeah.
I should have watched this then. I haven't seen it. Oh no.
That would have been well down my list. But I mean, fair play. I'm not sure what that's saying about our audience.
Chat, what did you like about
They like
it?
music,
I want to know.
music quizzes, I think is.
So I watched it today for the first time, and I've never listened to the radio show version, which I think makes me a bit strange. And I quite like it was interesting and hard. Like I think. Yeah, you've really got to show some knowledge, and there's not that many really challenging trivia shows. I think that that's why it's kind of it's quite good. I think that's why people like it, because you can really get to show off if you know some stuff on there.
So with the hit list, that's more just naming that tune. I assume this was like trivia about like who played as who's the lead singer of this, who's the drummer of this as well. Is that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff about the videos, number ones in that year, like naming a year from the number ones in it, or hits that were in it.
Mhm.
As you get to display encyclopedic knowledge should you have it.
I always think with that show, it was slightly unbalanced. Some questions seem to be way more harder than others. But I mean, I think you can say that about the original radio game as well. Well, I mean, fair enough. I thought it was a solid adaptation, not my cup of tea, but I mean, I think they did a pretty competent job of it, and obviously with Ken helming it, he's.
I was going to ask, how was Ken as host?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
it was as light as you'd expect from his, not much different from his Radio 2 stuff, really. And
Good.
obviously, they're very happy with it. It's coming back for an extended second go.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I mean, I thought it was a shame that the best bit was the normal Popmaster bit at the end. It was the bit that worked best for me. Everything else seemed a bit unbalanced. But I was shouting answers at home. I was playing along, so you can't really ask for more than that, really, can you?
And other than the order in which the questions were asked on Dale Winton's In It to Win It, the scoring system of Popmaster TV remains completely opaque to me. I still don't understand it, and I never will. All right, well done to Popmaster TV. You were the best format of 2023. Just a quick reminder that we're doing a little quiz, little poll. If you want to quickly do that, if you've just joined us recently, tinyurl / or stroke if you're John Humphreys, bar poll 2023. So there's about 10 questions on there, just about your opinions of other matters to do with TV and game shows generally. So we'll be going through your results for that in about 10 minutes, so you haven't got long. Okay, so we're going to go to our Streaming 5, which we've changed this year because finally it seems that the world of streaming has evolved enough that there are many different streaming options, and some of them actually have actual game shows on them. So we've sort of slightly limited it from Twitch streams and individual one-off YouTube efforts.
This was so that I could give others a chance. I am very humbled, David.
I think last year I was one of the winners, and I knew all the other fours personally. So it was starting to get a little. It was starting to get a little bit insular. So we're trying, without not wishing to diss those people who do fine work. We're trying to sort of recognize that we've always wanted this to be about mainstream streamers, but they didn't often have game shows in the early days, but now they finally do. So we will go ahead with. Do you have a 6 to 10 for this?
I can give you a 6 through 10 for this if you like. 10.
Yeah, go on then.
10 is in fact 5 different shows. It's Gambit Game, Game Changer, No More Jockeys, Run for the Money, and TLDR Race Across the World.
Oh, okay, right, fine.
And then 9 was Fingers on Buzzers. 8 was Ramesh and Tom Take on Takeshi's Castle. 7 was Physical 100. 6 was Lateral.
Okie dokie. Right, so let's go with 5.
5 was Jet Lag the Game.
Hooray! I have a soft spot for this. Because I like the people on it. I think, it's what if Amazing Race, but you cared about the people doing it. And also a bit more intelligent because there's strategy and tactics and things like that. So yeah, good. Very happy with this.
I've always liked it. I think the editing's got better and better with each series. They kind of know how the visual gags work, or the editing gags work, of like, oh no, it'd be awful if this train was cancelled, and like cut to picture of cancelled on a departures board, etc. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Enjoy it on Nebula. I subscribed to Nebula for this, and probably only this.
Well, so I've not watched it. I'll be honest with you, but I know actual real life people, not on the internet, who subscribe to Nebula for this exactly. So it's it has broken through a little bit into mainstream, I suppose. So yeah, good for it.
Okay, let's go for number 4, please.
Number 4 is Cheat.
Now, is it that?
It's.
Is that
I think.
how
I think that's how it likes to
Okay.
to write it. Yeah.
I haven't seen this.
I was
Yeah,
actually
I
in the
didn't get
audience for
round
this
to-
for an episode of this. Well, I'll let, if anyone has any opinions, I'll let them go first.
I don't think we do.
Okay. No, this was surprisingly okay. Netflix have tried doing lying-based quizzes in the past, like Bullshit the Game Show, and they were not very good, to put it mildly. This one actually works pretty well on its own merits. It's also got it had an incredible end game, which is extremely tense, sort of penalty shootout style. Where basically it kept going till someone caught someone out, basically. And that was really good. And Danny Dyer it's Danny Dyer at Excelsior. So basically him mugging to camera for half hour, chatting to a contestant. But it worked well. Ellie Taylor was extremely good as a quiz mistress. She also had some good funny lines. It was an all-round pretty good quiz show that nobody is going to spend money on to watch specifically on a streaming service.
Yeah.
Do you think it could get a lease of life on a terrestrial channel if they wanted to buy it? Like, I don't know whether Netflix would ever do that, but if Netflix wanted to say, or like Challenge wanted to say, yeah, we want to put this on, do you think Netflix would ever do that?
I mean, it's made by Fremantle, if I remember correctly, so maybe they could shop it round. I mean, would it do okay? If it was on a terrestrial channel, it would do okay. It wouldn't set the world alight, but people would watch it, I think.
Alrighty, let's go for number 3.
Number 3 was 007 Road to a Million.
No. No.
Is that no in a
Not
good way
happy
or no in a
with-
bad way?
That's no in a bad way. That should not be at number 3.
Where
I
should
quite
it be?
liked it. It should be at number 1. Well, it should be number 7, actually, to be thematically correct. This is the show that I fell in love with this year. I really enjoyed this show. I wasn't expecting to, and it wasn't perfect. I have a few major quibbles with it, but quibbles that I'm very happy to overlook. Because it felt like it was really hard. It felt like it was ridiculously hard. And that's what I sort of want from a show. I want them to be challenged in The Amazing Race, which is a reasonable comparison in a way. Some of the challenges are really quite straightforward or simple, or all they've had to do is travel a long way to get somewhere. But here, there was proper trekking involved. There was hidden details. The challenges were clever. Now, I'm not just saying all this because I know someone who's worked on it and is currently on this call. I know that David, you were involved in the production.
Little bit. I helped with the money ladder and a few of the early questions.
Yeah.
But me trying to take myself out of that, I thought it was wonderful that they had an idea, and the way that they did it, I thought was excellent. I thought it was genuinely excellent. When you saw the intro and the introduction animation and stuff like that, I thought, and I saved myself for the actual premiere to watch it. I was sat there in some cinema on Islington Green or something, going, "Wow, I'm on board for this. This is fabulous. It's so nice to work on something that genuinely tried to strive for excellence in editing, filming, casting.
Absolutely. Brian Cox was great in it. So rumor has it, or this may or may not be true, that he thought he was going to be a Bond villain on an actual film. That's what he thought he was signing up for. This is according to IMDb.
Briefly, and then like about 5 minutes later, he said, second, they haven't even cast the Bond yet." So
yes, indeed. But as I thought, he's got a gorgeous voice. Perfect voice for this sort of thing, and who needs a show where you can reveal a correct answer with either a green light or say a helicopter with a coloured flare flying past your cable car?
I loved that. The reveals got more ridiculous the longer into the show you got. So like a battleship and come out at one point.
Yes.
It was just amazing. Loved it.
It wasn't perfect. It suffered from like you're in the last episode. You know, there's only 20 minutes left. Oh, it can't. You know, they're going to get it wrong. I don't know of a way around that. But yeah, I really like the show, and I hope it comes back. And I would say I did feel like spoilers, but I won't spoil. I felt like it could be a shorter thing. There were 10 levels or 10 things for them to do. I felt like there could be 8, and it would still be just as good. But also, I thought the editing was very unfair to some teams. There was one team that failed at the first hurdle. They get literally 10 seconds of mention, and that's it. I wanted to know more about the failures as well.
I thought it was
because then
well
it puts
cast,
the wins.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, it was. Well, I think the problem was that everybody had to reset to Scotland, and once you'd seen that like 6 times, did you really need to see a 7th or an 8th? And also, it was actually kind of always in the plan that somebody was going to get treated like that. It was kind of like there would be just to show some teeth, to say it looks like everybody's doing really well, but actually there were 1 or 2 people that fell at the first hurdle, and
I feel like they deserved more.
That's
me.
The edit was done in a very different way to how it was planned, but I think the way that they ended up with was actually the right way. Anyway,
and also the soundtrack was great.
I thought the whole thing looked and felt sumptuous. The color grading and everything looked amazing, except for episode 1 in the Scottish Highlands, where it's all foggy, and you think it's quite an unfortunate start to a series. Because if you watch, I know some of you in the chat are saying you haven't watched it yet. Don't be put off on the first episode. Keep watching. It's really, really, really good.
It's agreed. The first episode's a little slow, but it really gets going.
Yeah, I think even they would admit that first episode, they would have done something different if they were doing it again. All right, number 2, please.
Number 2 is The Devil's Plan.
Okay.
Not the David's Plan.
You can't spell it.
Well, I can't say I've watched it because I've tried to watch it, and the first time I watched it, I couldn't understand the rules at all, and I turned off in disgust. And the second time I tried to do it again, and I fell asleep.
I would advise you try a third time, because it's actually, we know it's based on it's basically effectively it's Virginius 2.0. I don't think it's as good as Virginius as a format, but it still has the reveals, it still has the style, and it still has the games. And it was
but
why
come
time.
up with why start with a game that literally had 3 times, if not 4 times, the rules of an average Genius game?
Oh well, no, I quite agree. I thought the first time I saw it, I thought 5-minute rule explanation, never change. But it's not. It's one of those games that they front load all the rules, but it's not actually that complicated. And there are some bits in that first game where people have to sort something out by changing the position of a book somewhere in one of the sets and that sort of thing, and chatting on the phone without being caught by other people. I thought, oh yeah, this is very Genius. I like all this, and it continues for the rest of the series. There's overarching plots and overarching mysteries throughout, which were satisfying and entertaining in the main. But yes, there was the occasional dud game, and yes, it would be nice if the rules explanations were a bit quicker, and they had like one of the things of Genius did well was always summarising each game into 3 rules at the end of the explanations. They didn't bother doing that here, and I thought maybe you probably could have done. But I really like this. It wasn't disappointing.
Well, it's been recommissioned, hasn't it?
It has. It's coming back. Yep.
It's coming back.
That fiscal 100. So it's been a good year for Korean big ideas.
I thought it was all right. I thought that the games weren't quite good enough. The games are enjoyable. If you like watching people play board games, that is essentially what this is. in a way. I liked the separation of the prize games and the main match games and the prize games. I liked that separation for the most part, and I think they had a lot of good ideas under the surface. But for me, the games didn't, like the Genius games, half the time there was a really clever thing that you could do to solve it in a way, and none of these had that clever little twist that I was after.
That's fair.
So, David, I'd still recommend that you watch it, because I think you would still watch it and enjoy it, but it is definitely not the Genius game.
I'll just invest in some matchsticks to keep my eyes open.
Once you get past the 5-minute rule explanation, it's really just Mafia. That first game, I do basically. I mean, everyone understands that. Everyone watches for traitors now, so it's not that hard to. A couple of twists, but it's not that difficult.
Ooh. I've just seen a comment from the chat about number 1. Dickoon says, if Squid Game has won, he's going to riot.
That's a shame, isn't it? Because Squid Game is number 1. Squid David Challenge.
Riot!
But this is really good. So I wanted to hate this, and then it ended up being really entertaining. So yeah.
Why was it good, Nick?
Why was it good? It was dramatic. The set was amazing, and the way it looked was amazing. I mean, obviously they've ripped off it. It's obviously they've used the thing from the original drama. And actually, I thought the big set pieces they've borrowed from the original drama, not most interesting bit, but they did a very good job at humanising a lot of 400 odd contestants quite quickly. And the interpersonal tasks in between the big games, where sort of eliminating people strategically, they were really interesting. And the twists they put on the big game. So basically, there's one of the games is you have to lick biscuits and cut a shape out exactly. If you don't do it correctly, you're eliminated. Different from the the drama is that they had all the contestants line up in 4 lines, and the person at the front had to negotiate. The people at the front had to negotiate which shape they were going to get. And if they didn't all pick a different shape, they'd die, and then the next people would keep going until they finally found negotiated a solution. And it was really dramatic. It was really exciting. It's like someone had brought back Divided for an episode.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure I need 45 minutes of people licking biscuits, but the negotiation bit before that was highly entertaining. I really enjoyed it.
So I hadn't seen the source material.
It's good. Did you watch it?
Based on I don't know, but so they never explain the rules of the licking biscuits challenge. At any point, it becomes clear and obvious what you've got to do.
Yeah.
But I was just going there, watching it. They've got these shapes. I don't know. Okay, there's a circle. That's simpler than an umbrella. I understand that. I do not know why they want the circle compared to the umbrella. And then they got these tins, and then they started licking them. I had no idea what was going on. So that was a slight flaw in that game. I had no idea what was going on. Like they didn't do the rules of that one. I thought the games lacked diversity. This is why I'm really disappointed, because there were at least 2 instances of 2 games in a row essentially being the same. And I thought they did really well at, as you say, humanizing them. With 456 people, you're going to get a lot of work to do to edit this down. But they found some great stories. The mother-son pairing was wonderful. Some of the later challenges were fun as well. But that it didn't. The lack of, I thought the challenges were uninspiring. I'm sorry.
Can you imagine the number of SD cards that they brought into the edits? This is number 82, 83, 84.
The loggers have got their time cut out there, haven't they? Really, on that show. I also have some. So it's Studio Lambert. I have some question marks over the contestants'
that's
experience.
Absolutely fair. I wanted this to fail. I wanted this to be really bad, but I'm annoyed that it ended up being really entertaining on screen.
So I should say I watched it all, and it's still. Here's what I realised. Here's the thing. I teased. I thought that streaming shows had a really good year in 2023
Yeah.
compared to terrestrial.
I think you're right. Absolutely, yes. I look
So
at the
this,
top 5,
even-
top 10, and I think I'd watch all those. I wouldn't watch all the top 10 of the Hall of Fame at all.
Well, on that bombshell, shall we move on to the results of the poll? And this is where things might go wrong because I've realised I need to share a different screen, and that's going to make things move around on your.
We'll sort it. Don't worry. We'll sort it in the edit.
We will sort it, right? We'll sort it. So, let me see. Is there any way of me change windows? There we go. That might stop it from moving all around. Let's see if that's going to work. Okay.
Yeah, that seems all right.
Oh,
Inception.
There we go. That works. Well, we have the technology. Oh,
of course,
all right.
yeah.
Okay, I've got to keep it on that one. All right.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so I'm going to say we're not accepting responses anymore.
Do not vote, or your link may still be charged, etc., etc. I like the fact that this you've 2015, yeah.
Is that how long we've been doing this as a thing now?
Yeah.
Oh, so this is our 10th year of doing it then.
Well done, everyone.
So, was 2023 better or worse than 2022? And you say slightly worse.
I think I agree, to be honest.
Well, I think we were still somewhat shaking off the shackles of post-COVID a little bit.
What do you think, Claire? Do you think better or worse?
I think, having just caught up on this show last year, everyone was so overwhelmed and by the Traitors coming out the previous year that I think nothing this year has come close to really wowing audiences again.
That's a good point.
And I think that it's just like maybe 2022 is such a strong year. That's what I mean.
2022, yeah. Well, I thought 2023 was a terrible year. When I was looking through the list, the other thing I thought of was there's no shows here that I really want to put into my Hall of Fame. I did, because I'm a nice person. I gave good votes to good things. But there was it all felt bland this year. And maybe you're right, The Traitors is like the biggest thing at the moment, and it was the big breakout hit from the end of 2022. Maybe things since then have been okay, but nothing that sets the world on fire.
I think this January is more exciting in the entirety of the last year. If we're honest.
Yes, agreed.
I am so ready to come back on next year and talk about this January.
Yes. Let's just do a January poll. We'll do a poll for January.
We're not doing one a month of these things. It takes enough work to do one a year. Which this is a question we always have every year. Which channel broadcasters made the game shows you enjoyed most? And there's no results. That's great. So we have ITV, BBC Two, BBC One have shared the spoils this year.
That's going to be Traitors, Only Connect, University Challenge, Mastermind, that sort of thing, and like The Chase and Masked Singer, Wheel of Fortune. No, not Wheel of Fortune, but all that sort of thing. Tipping Point. That's all those three, isn't it?
Yeah. It's so no. Well, one thing that is noticeable is effectively there's no Dave there anymore.
I'm trying to look at what original thing they've done. I think they're still making Outsiders. They're still making Unforgivable, but they've not had a new hit.
No.
And
that was the great loss of Taskmaster.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Yes.
They used to be like the go-to place for some of these formats, and a lot of the new panel shows, as you say, haven't really hit the spot. What's the method through which you watch game shows most of the time? And most of you still watch an actual television set. I am actually quite stunned by, I think.
Really?
Yes, I am. Because this does not match any regular poll, if you watch most polls, it'll say something like 50. It'll have TV set probably most up there, but it'll be like 50% watch on TV, and then it might be like 45% watch on the. I suppose because of we only let people choose one option. That might be why the results are skewed from what I expect. But I have to admit, I am in the red category for that one. I watch most of my stuff on PC because my children bag the television. All right. How do you feel about the quantity of shows as a viewer? So it's sort of like, do you think there's enough to watch, or are you struggling to find enough to watch? And everybody seems to be pretty much in the middle. They said they're happy to see the shows that they're interested in and don't feel like there's not enough time.
I am firmly in the blue in this category. I have a spreadsheet to manage the shows that I want to watch these days and where you watch them and everything. A spreadsheet.
I'm not surprised, Dan. And I think that's what kind of pushes me away from starting some shows, because I think, this is going to be such a time sink. And I've been the person who watched Big Brother years and years ago, and absolutely had to watch it an hour every night.
Yeah.
And I just don't have that time, and so I don't start. But if I wanted to, I would definitely be blue, because there's things that I would want to watch.
That's the one thing that linear broadcast television has over streaming, in that streaming, it tends to be box sets of things and tends to be, a series of episodes that you have to watch one in the end, whereas one to the end. And, I'm just going to watch this episode of The Jace. I'm just going to watch this episode of Pointless.
Okie doke. So, which of these, what you might call bad habits, do you do regularly when watching game shows? Now, half of people didn't do any of these.
Wow.
So 8 people said that they watch at higher speed.
Oh.
So that's 8 out of 33 in reality. So that's actually 25%. But nearly everybody who replied said that they do use the scrubber bar to skip the boring bits.
Guilty.
Yeah, guilty.
You say bad habit. Does this slag off people on Twitter as contestants? Was that one of the options? I can't see.
Do not do that. They're under pressure.
Of course.
Most usually.
I must admit, for some things, on was it on Netflix? There was Awake, the £1 Million game show, which was the one about the counting the coins, and they have that sort of end game where they have to try and guess how much money they actually counted correctly, and if they get it within a certain percentage, then you get $1 million. And I must admit, after I've watched a couple of them, I just would go through the rest of the episodes and just skip to the very end. Even though the challenges themselves were actually very clever and very cleverly
they were all different as well throughout the series. I didn't repeat one, so that was quite impressive in its own way.
But they're all linked to skills that are deficient when you are sleep deprived, as well, which was going well beyond what the average Netflix viewer was expecting from that show, I think. So it was, anyway. Well, that's kind of interesting. I thought those figures might be higher. If you had to choose between the two, which of these would you prefer? Would it be a 9 out of 10 remake of an existing well-known game show, or an 8 out of 10 production of a brand new idea? And 70% roughly said that they would actually prefer to see something new rather than a remake.
I'd agree. I don't see a point of doing a less good version of something that already exists. You can already watch on YouTube quite a lot of times. You're that desperate to watch it, to be honest.
Yeah, that's true.
But how do people watch, say, Gladiators? Because they can't.
You can.
But, on telly...
Officially you can't, but on YouTube it's all there.
Yeah, but even if you could, it's still not brilliant quality, and
it will do. I think the new Gladiators it's like a remaster. We've done a lot of video game remasters recently where they make it feel like how you think it was rather than how it actually was. So they've done quite a good job in that sort of sense. They've made it feel like a 2024 production. With lots of graphics, excitement that wasn't actually there with the original. It's it's done pretty well. So fair enough.
I think the ratings have not followed this chart.
No, they've started off
I-
at 6 and they've gone down to 4.8. But I think that the level of that was always going to be predictable. I suspect. Where it levels out,
sorry,
I don't know.
Yeah, but what I mean, sorry, is that if you to the average generic TV viewer, I think that the shows that have hit better audience figures are the ones that are the 9 out of 10 remake rather than the 8 out of 10 new idea. I think people have been a lot more open and accepting and forgiving of the remakes than they have of new stuff. So that's my feeling. I think that's what fans think. I'm not sure that's what general viewers think. Which of the streaming platforms produces game show content that you most consistently excites and intrigues you? And again, they were very, very split here. Netflix, Twitch, and YouTube are the top 3 on that one.
Trying to imagine the sort of game show that Disney Plus would ever do. They did. They did
that Jedi thing.
Yeah,
in the US.
they did, didn't they? And apparently that was quite good.
It was all right. Yeah.
But just Disney Plus and game shows do not go hand in hand.
I basically listed all other ones there.
Yeah. But I would like to see them try. Go on, give it a go.
This is my way of stealing content so I don't have to think of questions for next year. Which game show rated question is not in this 2023 service that we should have asked instead? Best quiz-related stream on Twitch, yeah. Well, I've tried to get... Which 1990s game show format is the best ever and should be brought back immediately? I mean, there is a sort of time lag, isn't there, of like things.
I need more time to properly formulate an answer to this question.
Yeah.
I'm just currently thinking of going for gold.
Yeah, it's that era, isn't it? It's going for gold turnabouts and stuff like that. But like, I can't think of stuff that they didn't do then. That I mean,
if Turnabout comes back, can I be the runner to put the waves in the pool, please? I want to splash about to make the waves in the pool.
And the colours of the spheres have to be dandelion, amethyst, and a nectarine. That'd be good for colourblind people. That would be.
I would definitely bring back Crosswits.
Oh, nice shout!
Gotta get Crosswits back.
Yeah, there isn't that sort of thing around with that's clever with lots of cryptic wordplay. Probably for a reason.
I was such a fan of Crosswits that I used to write down the questions from them, and I managed to find like last year my actual notepad from whatever it was, 1991 or whatever, that had them all in. So I recreated the grids and ran them on Discord with a few.
You
friends.
did. I played one of them. I very much enjoyed it.
Yeah. Which long-running show has had its day? I think we've done that as a question before. Oh, hello. Yes, this is an interesting one. In the age of climate change, which format of certain shows would you change to lower the carbon footprint? Albert Productions and all that sort of thing. Well, there's definitely been a lot of shows that have unnecessarily had a high carbon footprint.
Hello, 007.
Daniel's helicopters to Cardiff are shocking.
Absolutely
appalling.
I don't want to travel with the riffraff.
All right, just a fun one of the egg. I wish. They didn't really. How much longer until ITV gets to
Never.
Poor Steven.
Which board game should be turned into a TV show?
Ooh. Well, that's an interesting thing because I've done a little bit of format development and I tried going in for this week I'm going to think about this particular board game and how can I try and turn that into a small TV show. And basically, board games are complicated. Board games are prohibitively complicated.
Funnily enough, we were talking about a game called Booby Trap last night on the Schlag watch along you're watching. I'm thinking you could do quite a good quiz version of that. You got a large bed, lots of things you pull out, it will snap shut, and lots of things fly up everywhere. You think that would be quite fun. Someone do that. Someone look up an old game called Booby Trap and make a quiz version of that, a large version of that.
So if you get a question wrong, you've got to take out one of your own discs.
Yeah,
and
something like that.
bad things happen.
Yeah.
Right, just a fun one of these created shows. If this will make no sense to you if you didn't watch the start of the show, which one would you like to make for real? Karaoke Catastrophe, Runaway Winner. I'm copying. Well, I can't copyright it because I didn't write it myself. But anyway, that was the Runaway Winner of that one. I'm quite surprised. There we go. And Hidden Gem Award this year, the winner is The Piano.
Nice.
So there we go. I mean, that really was a borderline thing of whether that was mainstream enough to go in the main poll or does it count as a Hidden Gem Award. But we have to draw the line somewhere. I felt it wasn't quite in the big hitters category for it to.
It was getting 3 million. It was doing pretty well for itself.
Yeah, that's true. But also, I knew it wasn't going to feature in the top 5 for certain. And
I'll say it wasn't far off. It's one vote off.
I thought you said it was number 8.
It was,
or was that
but number 5 is very close between.
Everything else was number 5.
Everything else quite close, and then there's something everything else pitched down was miles away.
Right.
But yeah, the stats will be up on Bob's Bar in due course.
Okie doke. Right, we shall head back to my other screen, and we will finish off with our Golden 5, which are the existing shows that you watch and love, even if they're not new. And those are the results from last year. Only Connect was back on top of the pile. But Traitors obviously new at number 4. So let's go through those, please, Nick.
Do you want a top 5 or a top 10?
So let me just. Hang on. Let me just blank out the.
Whilst to do that, the Traitors, of course, cannot appear this year.
Yeah, no Traitors this year because it wasn't on last year during 2023.
No.
So yeah. Okay, so top 5. Joint 4th.
Okay.
Was Taskmaster and Malcolm McIntyre's The Wheel.
Good shows each.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Strong year for Taskmaster, and The Wheel is just a lovely feel-good show.
Yeah, love both of them.
I don't. Is this the first time that Wheel's been in the Golden 5?
I think it was in bubbling under last year. So yes, it's gone up a little bit. I think.
Yeah,
off the top of my head, I might be wrong. Someone look it up afterwards.
I'm surprised Taskmaster is dropped down to joint 4th. I see it as TV perfection. I just love it. But yeah.
Well, I mean, it did well for the amount of series it's had, and also the Uber fans are also not only consuming 2 different podcasts, but also all the foreign editions in as well. So the people can really overdose on it if they don't want to. So. Right, you are number 3.
Number 3, Richard Osman's House of Games.
I'm just going to do this. House of Games. Okay.
A lot of people saying a lot of previous year had new games weren't all that good, but last year's new games were very good. So
fair enough.
Really, I don't get a chance to watch it quite a lot of the time. I don't finish to work. I don't get home from work till too late, unfortunately. Yeah, good.
Well, he's committed to keeping it going, as well as writing books, as well as doing 2 podcasts a week. So, still going to be very, very busy man. Okay, number 2, please.
Number 2 for 1% Club.
Oh.
Which was our winner of the best new format last year.
Has it really only been on since 2022? It feels like it's been on longer, but you're right. It's not. Sorry. Yeah, it feels like the sort of show that. Yeah, it just feels like it's been on a lot longer than that.
To me, and as somebody who did slightly have a role in the pilot and things like that, I do think that the material has slightly slid into fairly generic text riddles from books that I've had for 40 years, and which is I think is a shame because they have the like. If you look at say something like Idiot Test, which I absolutely love, still love it, where they took those annoying app games and they put their own spin on it. I think that there was a world in which, if you'd formatted the screen and the graphics slightly differently, you could have done more interesting things with picture puzzles and symbols and colors and whatever. And then just to have these quite complicated 5-line text things that like my mum will even read in time, never mind process.
Yeah.
I just find them a little bit drab.
I fear they're gonna be more effectively processing questions going forward, just because you can get quite a lot out of those. It's just effectively just word maths, I suppose, quite a lot of it. And I don't whether that's gonna have quite the same effect, because the fun of 1 and 7 Club when it started was you could talk to people about it and they're going, oh, I got that one, I didn't get that one, that one was quite fun, oh, I didn't get that one, that was quite clever. Whether the new series is going to have quite the same effect, I don't know, but I've not seen the question, so I don't know.
Like, one of my favorite questions we had on last series was the one about the candles and like, which one's going to be the shortest candle in an hour's time, and then you didn't notice that one of the candles wasn't lit. So that's a really, really clever, catchy thing that Idiot Test would have done. I just think there's more of those principles that they could have put in the mix too, that have made it more original. That's my feeling on the matter. Right, so there's so many possibilities here, because we've had Chase, Only Connect, Pointless. They've all been previous winners, so like only one of them can fit in slot 1, unless something's gone very drastically wrong with Nick's spreadsheet.
Oh, have we got a tie?
It's Rise and Fall. No, it's not Rise and Fall. It's Only Connect. Of course it is. Every year.
Yay! Woo! See, those helicopter rides are worth it.
Yeah, people watch it for the pictures. We all know that.
I think it's because it's the show that it's like University Challenge in that it makes you feel smart if you get a question right. And it's got some lovely contestants. I am talking about you there, Claire. That sounded like I was digging.
That was a secret message to Jonathan Cairns in chat.
No. No, for me, one of the Only Connect, is this the 4th year in a row or 3rd year in a row?
It feels like it's been number 1 for about 20 years, 20 of the 19 years we've been doing this for this poll.
It does.
At this juncture.
I feel like you can feel that the contestants on the show are also having fun. Claire, I'm hoping that you're now going to say yes. Did you have fun on the show?
Absolutely, and like I mean, we only wanted to have fun. That's the only reason we decided to do it. It was to have fun, and we succeeded in that. And also, we managed to win. But like, it was so fun, and yeah, lovely, really nice.
Was it?
Gets everything.
Was there anything in which it was different to what you were expecting?
I don't know. Gosh, that's a great question. I think it's just the kind of simultaneous feeling of, oh, this is all quite fun and silly, and I like being asked questions, and it doesn't matter, and also, this is quite, very intense and stressful, and I really want to win. It was just both of these things can happen equally and at the same time.
Marvelous.
Yeah.
Great. Well done to Only Connect, which romps on again, another long-running show that obviously was started on excellent foundations. What more can I say?
Yes.
Particularly the first 8 series. So that's it for this year. All of the details, and also do watch on UK Game Shows for Nick's full write-up, because it includes some of your comments, and they are invariably extraordinarily witty and funny, and make me laugh out loud every single year. So in a few minutes, but like give it like half an hour maximum. But
Yeah.
the full write up will be up on there. And then if you want all the details of the poll, then Nick will have those as an after party.
Yep, it's all ready to go.
On Bothers Bar. And also, of course, people can join the Bothers Bar Discord, Nick.
Yes, there's a link on the Bothers Bar site, right on the right, on the top right as you come in. So if you want to come and join us, you're welcome to.
So if you want to be one of the nerds of the nerds, then do drop in there for all the insider goss. So thank you to Dan.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for all of your insight. Lovely to have you as a new addition, Claire. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
You've been did excellent stuff, and also special thanks to Nick because he's the one that really has to do all the hard work for this.
No, thank you. It's my one job a year done now, so I can now relax till December. So
yeah,
it's all good.
So
Back into hibernation.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like Father Christmas.
Yeah, in many ways.
And so, is there anything you want to plug while we're here? I shall start off with if you like quizzes and facts, then you can listen to a podcast that I produce every week called Lateral with Tom Scott. So do search for that if that sounds of interest. Dan?
I stream quizzes, games, and puzzles a few evenings a week on Twitch. Search for Quizzy Dan, all one word, on Twitch, and that's where you'll find me there.
And Claire, do you want to just let people know where you are, or do you want to skulk away into the darkness?
Well, I would just plug what you guys do because I consume all of your media anyway. So yeah, go watch and listen to those things.
All right. And Nick, we've already done his bothersbar.co.uk. Excellent. Well, that's it for. Thanks so much for watching, and we shall see you all again next year. So from us all, if we haven't all been replaced by AI bots, we'll see you then. Thanks so much. Bye bye for now.